Salvation Army on Hunter Hill Road. It's a wonderful facility, and it used to be the Rocky Mount Telegram location. Before that, it was a YWCA, and now it is the headquarters for the Nash Edgecombe Wilson Salvation Army. And we are delighted to have Captain Wayne Meads as our guest, and you and your wife, Captain Claudia Meads, are the senior administrators here. Is that what you call yourselves?
We are. We're the senior pastors, senior administrators. She and I both together work together closely with the spiritual aspect of this program, which is our chapel and church services. And we both are pastors as well as directors, administrators. And without her help, for sure, this wouldn't be the success that it is today. So I'm sorry she couldn't be here, but she is the backbone of this program here. Well,
y'all met at Salvation Army training or something, right?
Training college. I was introduced to Claudia. She was an officer in Brazil, active officer, already commissioned. I was in training in Atlanta, Georgia, and one of my teachers introduced me to her, who was from Brazil, and from there it just happened, and she moved all the way over here for us to get married and to minister together and work as a team, and here we are in Rocky Mount.
And how long have you been here?
We've been in Rocky Mount now going on a little over a year. We were stationed here June of last year, and before that we were in Davidson County, North Carolina, Lexington, and this is going on our 6th year of officership.
Well, we are so glad to have you here, and it's great we get 2 instead of 1. But Rocky Mountain has a lot of needs, or this Nash Edgecombe Wilson area. There are a lot of needs here, aren't there?
Yeah, there are. I mean, we don't have time to go through all of them for sure, but we were intentional on defining some of those needs and seeing which ones we needed to tackle first and possibly be successful at, and that the community also would buy into. So that was the foundation. That's where we started, and we've been able to highlight some of those needs and start working on them.
Well, and we want to talk about one that you started in the spring, and you all came up with it, Joshua's Challenge. And folks, this is just an amazing program. We're going to learn more about it, and we've got kids, we've got teachers who are going to talk about it and what it means to them. But why Joshua's Challenge, and kind of share with everybody what it is, please.
Well, we didn't necessarily come up with the whole concept and the idea. We bought into an idea that had started in Pasquotank County, Elizabeth City. It was called Joshua's Challenge there. It was a reading program. My wife and I went up there to see it in action, to see how it worked, to see if it was working, if we could imitate it here and do it with our kids, because we found out that there is a need for extra teaching, I guess you would say, for 3rd graders, because there's a deficiency there as far as 3rd grade reading levels, and is low. So Joshua's Challenge comes from Joshua chapter 1 verse 8, which states, "Keep these words of the book of the law on your lips at all times." But in order to do that, you have to know how to read the book of the law, which is the Bible. And we said, okay, it works there. Let's introduce it, see who buys into it, and let's see if we can make this thing work.
Well, and Captain, the data, if somebody doesn't learn to read by the 3rd grade, is huge as far as hampering lifelong success. The numbers are out there. I always hate to talk about them, but I think people need to know the severity of it. You're looking at about, if I'm not mistaken, around 74% in Nash County or Edgecombe County. 72% of the kids in the 3rd grade are not reading at a proficient level. And Edgecombe County, you're looking at Wilson County's in the 60%. Where 3rd graders just aren't reading at the level. By the time they get to the 4th grade, they're being taught grammar skills, punctuation, things like that. You need to already know how to read, and they get lost. And when you get lost, you get bullied. When you get bullied, you just fall behind. And from there, it's hard to catch up. The funny thing about that is that the solution we found was really easy. Just needed a little extra time for kids to be able to go to a session with one-on-one. We saw the statistics of kids that were in the program, and by the time they were out, they were reading at a 3rd grade level. They were moving on to the 4th grade, and not only that, the quality of the individual that comes out of the program is just lifted. Their spirits are high. And we heard that in talking to the kids. We're going to show you some of the kids and have them tell in their own words what it's meant to them. But
the effects on all their courses.
Yeah.
And the excitement of being able, I mean, we had one of the teachers said to us, all of a sudden it clicked.
Yeah.
And you can just see it when it just makes sense, and they're so happy and so successful and so proud of themselves.
Yeah. The story I love the most is that we went to go pick the kids up here at our local school that we're working with right now. And a girl came on the bus and she said, "Captain, I passed. I passed." And you're thinking to yourself, that meant so much to her. You know, and that she can do it, and that the next level can be achieved, and it just goes on and on and on. Without it, you know, you have so many programs. I don't want to jump off track, but I do want to make a point of the importance of starting this out early. The state of North Carolina, the Department of Education, has all these programs that are set up for kids now that when they get to the high school level, junior or senior year, they can start taking courses
early college.
Early college classes at the community college, skills, trades, and start learning this right now. Well, the problem is if 70% of the third graders cannot read and write, they can't take advantage of those programs when it gets to the 11th and 12th grade. Think about if they can read. If 70%, if we can get 30 or 40% of them, that increases the chances of these classes and these opportunities to excel. And I mean, it's a win-win for the colleges. It's a win-win for tuition, you know, in the state. You just can't go wrong, but you have to start here at the third grade. That is a magic point. They have to learn to read now.
And that's what y'all are doing. You had Benvenue Elementary,
Yes.
and Amelia Harper's going to join us at the end after we listen to the teachers and kids and learn more about the program and give us the data, because at this point you've got the feedback for what a difference it really made to those kids. I want you, Captain, right now to just quickly tell us the different services within this building for the Salvation Army.
If you were to come in, first and foremost, a lot of people don't know this, and this is the area that I push the most. We're a church. We are a church. We have services here that start at 10 a.m. on Sunday for Sunday school. We have a regular chapel service. We're Salvationists. A lot of people don't know what that is, but if you've been to a Methodist Baptist church, you've been to a Salvation Army church. We meet here at 11 a.m. on Sunday because we feel so strongly that a lot of today's problems can be met and conquered if the spiritual side of an individual is being taken care of, if you're being fed spiritually. And from that, we're able to take care if there are you know, financial issues or if there's food insecurities or things like that. If you come here, we do have a social service department that helps with rent. We can help with food. We can help with several other different areas. For cases of emergency, we do help with, like we said, we have a reading program that's going on to help with kids. We have a seniors program that meets twice a week to be able to host with our seniors. They meet also on Wednesday, and they're fed and they have programs and just a lot of fun. But most importantly, we're here for those individuals spiritually that are lost, and I would love for anybody to join us for our Sunday services.
Well, and it takes money to run programs like that, and I know we all are familiar. I guess the one that we know most is the kettle that y'all ring the bell at Christmas time, but also you've got other fundraisers, and you've got some matching money now to help fund this third grade reading program.
We do. The Penny Barnhill educational grant that's out there. We have just been blessed that they have committed that they will match every dollar that's being donated toward the Joshua's Challenge program. So
every dollar.
Every
so
dollar.
If you give, it's doubled, folks.
It's doubled right off the bat, and so a lot of people are excited about that. We've had local community civic groups. Rotary has donated to this, and their money was doubled. We've had other board members that have come together, and their money was doubled as well. So it's a win-win situation, but it does take a lot because we pay these teachers for their time after school. It's 3 days a week for 2 hours for each day. But they know those kids. Those are the kids they go to school with, and so the kids we're able to work one-on-one, and we pay the teachers. We take care of the snacks for the kids, and we take care of the transportation. So there's a cost there.
And you're saying snacks, the kids are hungry. I mean, I watch them come in, and often they eat lunch at 10:30 in the morning. And when they were getting here at 3 in the afternoon, I think Claudia or Captain Claudia was feeding them hamburgers. There wasn't a crumb left. I mean, they were. But they're so happy. I mean, they're so happy to be here. And as I viewed it, meeting the kids and meeting the teachers, every one of those kids, you were having a profound impact on their future. We had
kids were dealing with autism that were overcoming their reading problems. We had kids with just issues of just self-worth and being able to say,
man, I can do this. I did not know that it was going to be this easy, but they were able to get that individual time, and the outcome has just been phenomenal. When we talk about this program to anyone out in the community and we give them the numbers and we show them the results, they're like, why haven't we been doing this?
Yeah.
The solution was just so simple. We just needed those people. We were blessed to be in the right place, the right time, in the right community to get this thing launched. And it looks like, we still need assistance with it, but this year we're going to be able to incorporate at least 4 schools
Four
this year.
schools, isn't that amazing? So started with 1 and now you're looking at 4.
Looking at 4.
Well, we're going to watch the kids and enjoy,
Yeah.
seeing them participate, and the teachers are going to talk to them a little bit, and then Amelia's going to come back and share the results with us. So
Amen.
thank you.
Yeah, amen.
We are with Heather Pitt and Latonya Whitaker, who are teachers in this program, and I don't even think I need to interview y'all because you came in just bubbling with how much you love the program and what you've seen. Start with why you're involved and what you're seeing.
Well, the reason I'm involved is because it's an extension from what we're already doing at school throughout the day. And then those students that are right there, like very close to meeting a pathway and being able to move on to 4th grade without going to summer school, it gives us a chance to work with them in more depth. And it's smaller groups, so you get to focus your attention on specific topics.
Did you know some of these kids before they were in the program? Were you able to help with the selection of the ones to enroll in the program?
Yes, we actually got together as a team at our school, and we talked about those students as we call bubble kids, those kids that are right there. And we chose the ones that were already showing hard work and being dedicated, and those were the ones that we came up with as far as having them to come to the program. And the parents were all, they were on board with it. And I think we made some really good selections because they're showing a lot of growth here and as well as in class. And they're very excited about the whole thing as well.
I get the impression as they offer it in future years, you're going to want to stay involved, right?
I would, if they allowed me to work with, my kids or the 3rd graders that we're currently working with. It makes a big difference because they know us, they know what kind of, teaching styles we have and what we expect of them. So it makes a big difference, yes.
Well, I watched them come in the back door and they were giggling, and I mean, it was just like, wow, we're going to our neat place. Talk about the feedback you're getting from the kids.
Well, the feedback I'm getting from my kids is that they absolutely love coming here. They have told me specifically in the past week that they like tutoring just because it is the smaller group, that we are here, that they can work with the other teachers at our school that they don't normally get to work with, and they really enjoy coming here. They think it's like a little reward for them, and they really enjoy it.
And are some of these kids that you have from your regular school class too?
Yes, ma'am. We have chosen, like she said, we met as a grade level, and we see these kids every day in the hallway. Some of my kids go to other teachers and tell them what they did at tutoring. This morning, actually, someone went up to another teacher from one of our other classes and was bragging about how well they did in fluency yesterday during tutoring. So it's just really good that it holds them accountable for themselves, and then they get to go and brag and boast about themselves in the classrooms.
Do you think the other teachers are starting to see some changes in these kids too?
Yes, we had that discussion today during our PLC. Actually, they were talking about how they've seen a significant amount of growth and just their confidence in the specific skills that we're working on here, since we did meet as a grade level, and we talked about what skills we wanted to narrow down to, and they're really seeing a lot of success.
That's great.
Yeah.
Nothing like boosting kids' confidence, right?
Yes, ma'am. Always. And I know one of the things that I do, I like to give out treats. And so I'm the lady with the treats, and they look for them. So I like to bring different types of candies and things that they like. So I try to make it fun for them. I do the fluency part. And our goal at the end of the year is like to be able to read 125 words within a minute, to do it fluently, no mistakes and all that. So I make it into a game. I time them, and they race against their teammates within the room, and then whoever gets the highest amount of words, and then they get a treat out of the bag. So they're excited, and then today before I left work, they came back in my room, don't forget the candy bag. I was like, I got you. So yeah, just being able to reward them that way, I mean, it just takes a little bit to make them happy, and they're excited to work towards meeting their goals.
And there's a commitment by their parents too, isn't there? Don't they pick them up afterwards?
Yes, ma'am. They're required. They signed a contract at the beginning, agreeing to the rules of picking them up on time and making sure that they are coming and allowing them to be here after school. There's a certain amount of days they're allowed to miss, or there's a certain amount of times that if they're late, then they would be maybe potentially not be able to continue in the program. So there's a big commitment from parents that we have established, that understanding of this is the expectation, and it's worked out very well. We haven't had any issues.
Great. Well, we're going to get y'all to talk to some of the students, because I was going to talk to them, but I think they'd much rather talk to you ladies. So thank you.
You're welcome.
I like the fact that we get to eat something because I'm always starving.
Okay.
So that's probably a little lunch for us. And I like the fact that it helps you learn a lot and it helps you meet your pathway.
All the stuff that they're saying is I use it in some of my tests, and it helps me sometimes, most of the times I would say.
I love all of it, and I'm not that good at reading, and it helps me with my reading. That's what I love about it. We learn that to meet, when we go to the teachers, we have to read this whole sheet of paper.
Right.
And you're helping us do that, but reading really as quick as we can. You're missing out because you really need to learn a lot, and it's a good program.
That was so much fun.
It was.
Amelia Harper is Community Development Director at Salvation Army. And people remember you from when you worked with the newspaper.
Right.
And so if you wonder what happened to her, she is at the Salvation Army. And when I know they're thrilled to have you with your skill set and your passion for the Salvation Army.
Well, I'm enjoying it. It's wonderful here.
The kids, though, and we've just seen the teachers working with them and the kids. And one of the things that Captain Meade said was the teachers already know the kids, and that came across, and that's important because they hand select the kids who would benefit the most from the program, don't they?
Right. The principals and teachers at each school that we work with choose the students that they want to work with. They know their grade levels, they know their enthusiasm levels, they know the ones that are willing to work, and they choose the students, they choose the teachers. We're not here to say, hey, the Salvation Army knows how to teach your kids better than we do. We're here to say, we're here to support you. We're going to give you the extra time you need. We're going to give funding. We're paying the teachers $30 an hour, which is a great incentive, and these teachers are passionate about working with these kids. They're passionate, and a lot of them they wish they had this time with the kids in the school day, but they don't. You've got a lot of kids to look after, and now they can just take these in a smaller group and work with them individually. And so I just love to see the enthusiasm of the teachers, and I love to see the enthusiasm of these kids because they're just so excited to learn.
And as a kid, or child or student, to all of a sudden to be struggling and all of a sudden know you get it,
right,
has to just be a tremendous ego boost for them.
Well, it is. And I've noticed with reading, because I used to teach reading, and that's one of the reasons I really enjoy working with the Salvation Army and with this program is because I used to teach, and a lot of time with kids, it's almost like you see this light bulb come on when they finally start to put the pieces together and learn how to read, and it's just such a pivotal piece of their education, and it not only unlocks their education, but oh my goodness, for a lot of these kids, reading is an escape. Reading is the way that they learn about the world, the way they meet other cultures and other people. And so it's not just unlocking education, though that's very important. It's also really unlocking the world for them.
Results. Can you tell us what the results are?
We had a pilot program last year, and keep in mind this was only for 8 weeks. We started in March and ended at the 1st of May. And we worked with Benvenue Elementary School. They were very graciously decided to be our guinea pigs for this program, and they were wonderful to work with. We enjoyed working with the principal, Tedford, and for the teachers there. But by the end of the program, we had 21 students we worked with, and all but one of those students had made it their pathway, and that student student had come late to the program and had only been in the program for like 3 weeks. So
instead of 8. Okay.
Yes, and so instead of the 8 weeks. So all the rest of them met their state approved pathway, and then we had the end of grade testing. You know, that's where there are several pathways you can use to meet your reading goal, but the end of grade testing in Nash County last year, 71.7% of the kids did not meet the EOG pathway. So that EOG test is really tough for a lot of these kids. But for these kids, we had 37% of them met their EOG score of 3, 4, or 5, and 2 of those actually got a 4, which is well above the minimum that they needed. So considering that 28.3 is what it was the percentage for the kids all the students, and that these were kids that were considered at risk when they started our program, and they were only in the program 8 weeks, I think that is a phenomenal result.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You said 8 weeks. What will it be this coming year? You got 4 schools, 2 in Edgecombe County,
right,
Rocky Mount Charter, and Bienvenue again.
Right.
How long will the time frames be for the kids coming this year?
For this coming year, we're planning on starting probably mid-September or early October at the schools, depending on when the school wants to start this. A lot of the schools want to get them settled into the regular classroom before they start the after-school programming. But they'll be in there from October, and then we'll run the program through the 1st of May. At the end of the year, they do a lot of testing, so usually about the 2nd week of May, they start the testing. So we'll be doing it for around 90 days total. It'll be for about 8 months during the year, and then we'll be what we're hoping is that they'll have a cohort of students. So we'll have like 21 students at a time with 3 teachers, a 7-to-1 ratio. And then traditionally in the other areas where they had this program, a lot of the kids meet their reading goal by the end of the 8 or 9 weeks. And so when that child meets their reading goal, we'll just simply substitute in another child. And so we could reach potentially up to 84 kids at a school by doing this. And so I think it's going to have a really big impact on these schools, and by having that impact, it's not only having the impact on the students, but it raises the reading scores for that school. It raises the reading scores for the district, and eventually I hope it'll have an impact on the economic development of the community, because people will look at us and see how much progress we're making in the community and our education. So.
I mean, when you think of it in those terms, I mean, it's just such a fabulous win-win program for everybody, even those who don't have kids involved, but the community. Okay, we've got about a minute left. Tell us how people can help support this program.
We're this year we're getting ready to start with the 4 schools, and we've got about a little more than $90,000 budget. So we do need a lot of help from the community. We do have a partner, the Penny Barnhill Foundation is doing a matching grant with us. So when people donate money, that money will go to the matching grant. Their dollars will be doubled. So we are really trying to, especially between now and the end of November, trying to get as much money as we can to, and so we will have our website. On our website, they'll be able to go to our website and donate to the Joshua's Challenge program. They can look for a link specifically for the Joshua's Challenge program, or if they would like to drive their truck and put piles of money and just bring it to us directly, we're willing to do that too. So, but they can bring a check by to us, or and they can contribute by credit card, by phone, however they want to. So,
and by website, are you www.salvationarmy.org?
It's actually www.newsalvationarmy.org.
New Salvation.
Right, and the new is because
NEW.
we're NEW, that stands for Nash, Edgecombe, and Wilson, because we serve those 3 counties.
Okay, great. And once they get there, they can find where to go from there.
If they don't know, they can call our number. It's 252-446-4496. Choose option 2 or ask for Captain Meads, and we will be glad to help them figure out a way to donate.
Well, you're excited, aren't you?
I am so excited about this program because it's just something that makes a difference in kids' lives, and it makes a difference to the community.
Well, and in an age where it can make or break them.
It really does.
For their future and their enthusiasm for education and just learning skills for life.
Right, it does, because if they can read, they can do anything, and if they can't read, they're just going to always be behind the 8 ball. So it's just a wonderful program to get these kids excited about education and about their futures.
And to feel successful.
Exactly.
Amelia, thank you, and thank you for
you.
the Salvation Army. Wow.
Well, thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome, and thank you for joining us.